I never imagined I would fall for a non-cotton watercolor paper, but here we are. In this video, I want to share my first impressions of a paper that honestly surprised me, especially since it's not 100% cotton, so let's get started. Hi, welcome back! Today I'm trying a new watercolor paper from St. Cuthbert's Mill, but unlike my all-time favorite Saunders Waterford, this one isn't made from 100% cotton. Instead, this is from their non-cotton line. This is Bockingford watercolor paper, cold press, 300 GSM, as you can see here. Now you might be wondering, if I already have a favorite cotton paper, why even try this one? Well, I actually got this sketchbook for free about a year ago after participating in some art workshops back in my hometown. To be honest, it was a little bit disappointing at first when I saw it because I couldn't find anywhere indicating it was 100% cotton. I tended to shy away from it and hesitated to use it. Also, based on my past experience, non-cotton paper has been kind of a nightmare to me. Earlier in my watercolor journey, I struggled a lot with non-cotton or even partially cotton papers, especially with wet-on-wet techniques, blending, making either smooth washes. The pens just wouldn't behave the way I wanted. It felt patchy, hard to control, and to be honest, just really frustrating. Some of those papers are still sitting around in my house today. I only use them for practice or swatching because I don't want to waste them. That's actually why I eventually switched completely to 100% cotton paper. But then I did some research and kept hearing people talk about Bockingford. Even some experienced artists recommended too, so I got curious if it was actually good. So finally I gave it a try for my first pen app painting. I thought it may be messy anyways because it was my first outdoor painting, so I didn't want to risk my favorite sketchbook for that, and that made it like a very perfect taste for this Bockingford as well. In that day, it was a bit windy, paper dries so fast. I used quite a lot of water and even did some wet-on-wet technique as well. Surprisingly, the paper handled it pretty well. It actually turned into one of the most enjoyable sketchbooks I have painted. Maybe because I had no expectation for that. So yes, I would definitely take this out again for outdoor painting or maybe paint some more in this sketchbook. And if you haven't seen that outdoor painting video in my channel, maybe I'll link here above, so in case you would like to check it out. Technically, Bockingford is a cellulose paper, not cotton. However, it doesn't behave like the cheap non-cotton papers I have used before. Here's what I've noticed. The paint goes down quite smoothly, especially with dry-on-dry technique. It is more predictable and handles moderate layering quite well. And while it isn't as good as 100% cotton, of course, it is a major step up from a cheap pulp paper, I would say. Overall, the paper feels more stable and consistent to me. According to the company, it is no animal products and made from wood-free pulps. The pulps used are carefully sourced to contain a high source of alpha cellulose that prevent the paper from degrading over time, and it is well-sized paper. That means it resists water penetration, is highly resilient, and is suitable for various watercolor techniques. I also noticed that even though the color can be lifted out, it isn't as easy as on my poor sized cheap pulp paper or partially cotton paper. But overall you can still adjust it. It's more controlled. And the parts that really surprised me the most is when I compare it to some random 25 to 50% cotton papers I have bought online randomly. I actually enjoy Bockingford more, and I think the reason is the consistency. because some cheap mixed cotton paper absorb paint unevenly, behave unpredictably, and make layering difficult. Even though they say cotton, they don't always perform better, right? So this is something I have learned recently. Paper perform is not just about cotton percentage. Maybe it depends on the fiber quality, sizing, and also manufacturing as well. And I think Bockingford does a really good job. Now when it comes to the price point, this is where it actually gets interesting. Bockingford is way more affordable than 100% cotton. It is made by a reputable company compared to something like Arches or Saunders Waterford. It is cheaper, which makes it a lot less stressful to use. To me, it is the perfect low pressure paper for practicing or painting outdoors. For me, it is the perfect balance. It lets me experiment without feeling guilty about wasting pricey paper. If you're looking for something more stable than cheap pulp, but you want a predictable surface that won't break the bank, I think this is a great option. So overall, I think this paper really exceeds my expectations, especially for non-cotton option. To be honest, I still prefer 100% cotton more, but this is something like I would happily keep using. Have you ever tried Bockingford before? I would love to hear your thought about it. Do you like it or not really, and why so? So let me know in the comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.